Two One News anchors make a push for freedom to broadcast in the West Philippine Sea as they join a Christmas convoy there this weekend. The Coast Guard has asked China for information on one of its ships that struck a Filipino fishing vessel in Mindoro Occidental. And one suspect is captured in the bombing of Mindanao State University in Marawi. Fast, focused, and fearless, here's a roundup of stories we're watching now. I'm Denise Tan. One News anchors Ed Lingao and Gretchen Ho are all set to aboard a civilian-led Christmas convoy, which will officially sail on Sunday. One News Now earlier caught up with Ed Lingao, who told us about what to expect from the voyage. Kailan nga ba ang larga at gaano kalaki yung sasakyan yung barko? And officially, kailan at anong oras kayo pupunta dun sa Palawan?
We're flying off to Palawan tonight at around 7:30. But the boat itself that left the South Harbor this morning will be arriving in Palawan on Saturday night or Sunday, and we will be boarding the Captain Felix Oka. That's the mothership on Sunday. I think Sunday dawn. From El Nido, it's 24-hour trip to Ayungin or the vicinity of Ayungin, and from Ayungin it's another 5 hours trip down to Patag Island. So it's going to be a long trip basically, and we expect to be back. Hope to be back by Tuesday night.
Puwera dun sa baka mawala ng signal and all that. What else are your expectations of this?
Well, there are other things on the table as well. The most obvious thing being the possibility. I'm not saying probability. I'm just saying the possibility of actions by the Chinese Coast Guard and the Chinese Maritime Militia that could hinder the movement of the convoy. We have seen that, and by the vessel that was released by the Philippine Coast Guard, we've seen our vessels being posted down and being bumped by militia and Coast Guard vessels of China. So we don't know how the Chinese will be reacting to this particular Christmas convoy. We do hope that with the transparency that the government has tried to put in place, the Chinese are well aware of what's happening. They're well aware that this is a peaceful convoy and that we intend to bring Christmas goods to our people in the area. So there should be no room and no reason for conflict or friction between the two sides. Of course, that's whether that is the case is still to be seen.
Again, One News anchors Gretchen Ho and Ed Lingao will attempt to broadcast live from the West Philippine Sea for the first time. That's as a civilian-led Christmas convoy sets sail this weekend. Catch the live reports and updates here on One News and 1PH. These historic reports are also available on Signal TV Channel 250 HD and Channel 8 SD and on Signal Play Streaming. We now give you a quick look at today's other top stories. Another defendant in the killing of radio broadcaster Percy Lapid has been convicted. Denver Mayores was slapped a prison term of 2 to 8 years after pleading guilty to being an accessory in the crime. 3 other suspects were earlier convicted for Lapid's murder, which was allegedly masterminded by former Bucor Chief Gerald Bantag. Lapid, or Percy Mabasa, was shot dead on October 3, 2022. PHIVOX has downgraded Mayon Volcano's alert status to alert level 2 from 3. The agency said this is due to a general decline in volcanic activity since November 2023. PHIVOX, however, advised against complacency as the volcano remains inflated and continues to emit high levels of sulfur dioxide. Authorities said Irma Escalante, the passenger of the Cessna plane that crashed in Isabela last week, may have survived. They reported seeing a makeshift shelter near the plane's crash site. The victim could have gone on foot to seek for food and civilization. Now, K9 trackers will be deployed to search for her. The pilot of the ill-fated aircraft has been confirmed dead. And the country's unemployment rate has dropped to an 18-year low to 4.2% in October. This translates to over a million jobless Filipinos, 150,000 fewer than last year. The unemployment rate in September was at 4.5%. We're bringing you more stories after this quick break. Keep it here on One News. Thanks for staying with us here on One News Now. I'm Denise Tan. One of the suspects behind the bomb attack in Mindanao State University, Marawi, has been arrested. The suspect, Jafar Gamo Sultan alias Jaf Kurot, was captured on Wednesday during an operation in Barangay Dulay proper in Marawi. The AFP said Sultan is an accomplice of a certain Omar who, according to witnesses, placed the improvised explosive device at the MSU gymnasium. Other suspects are still at large and a massive manhunt is still on. On December 3, a bomb went off in MSU's Dimapova gym while a Catholic mass was being held there. 4 people died and at least 45 people were injured in the blast. SMNI hosts Lorraine Badoy and Jeffrey Celis could spend Christmas in detention at the House of Representatives. Speaking to the big story, Surigao del Sur Representative Johnny Pimentel said a committee report is still being crafted. This will need to be adopted first in a plenary session before both SMNI hosts can be released. They could apply for furlough, unauthorized temporary release granted to a prison inmate, but in this case, individuals in detention.
They can appeal or they can request the committee for a furlough, considering that it is Christmas holidays, but they have to write to the committee officially requesting for a furlough, meaning this will only be temporary. After the furlough, one session will open on January 22. They will go ahead. They will have to go back to the detention center, to the detention room in the premises of Congress.
The Philippine Coast Guard says it would be, quote, very serious in investigating a China flag bulk carrier. The said vessel reportedly hit a fishing boat in Occidental Mindoro on Tuesday. Based on the account of fishermen, they had just laid out a payaw or a fishing device while in the waters of Paluan, Occidental Mindoro. This was when their boat was hit and left to drift aimlessly on water while the Chinese crew just looked on. The fishermen took note of the vessel's name as MV Taihang 8. Sea conditions were reportedly moderate to rough at the time of the incident. The PCG says it is already coordinating with the Safety Administration of China and has asked for the identification of the ship's owner. The PCG has also written about the incident to Indonesia, where the foreign vessel was reportedly headed. In an interview with Radyo 5, Ted Filon and DJ Chacha, the PCG urged the 5 fishermen involved in the incident to file for damages to speed up the probe.
Pagka-aksidente, ni-encourage natin na mag-settle. Kung mahabol po sila through damages, ay mas maganda po. Sapagkat alam niya naman, pagdating sa criminal liability, magiging napakahirap ito at magiging napakatagal.
Donations have poured in for the Christmas convoy that will set sail to the West Philippine Sea on Sunday. All 5 foundations of the MVP group donated various supplies for fisherfolk and troops in WPS. These are One Meralco, Metro Pacific Investments Foundation, Alagang Kapatid, PLDT and Smart Foundation, and Makati Medical Center Foundation. The supplies include canned goods, hygiene kits, and gadgets. One News anchor and Women in Action Gretchen Ho personally dropped off the donations to Atin Ito Coalition's office on Thursday.
So yesterday, I went to the Atin Ito headquarters in Quezon City at natuwa naman ako, Diego, kasi nakita ko yung mga donations are being wrapped in Christmas boxes. And ang sabi nila sa akin, we don't want this to look like ayuda. This is the point of this is to be able to spread the Christmas cheer to our frontliners, not just our soldiers, but also our fisher folk who are defending our seas in the best way that they can. So aside from canned goods, there were also hygiene kits, there were sacks of rice, there were Noche Buena packs, solar lamps, of course, meron din tayo mga laruan, papogi kits, mula yan sa ating Alagang Kapatid Foundation. Meron din tayong MWell bags, gadgets, even sat phones. So we'd like to thank the MVP group of companies. They all donated to this cause. The PLDT Smart Foundation gave the Noche Buena packs, the Makati Med Foundation gave the toys, One Meralco gave the solar lamps, Metro Pacific, and of course, Alagang Kapatid nga, gaya ng sinabi natin. Pero yun nga, excited ang lahat na kahit pa paano maibahagi, makapagbigay ng konti para sa ating mga kababayan doon.
For the first time, One News anchors Gretchen Ho and Ed Lingao will attempt to broadcast live from the West Philippine Sea. That's as the civilian-led Christmas convoy sets sail this weekend. Catch the live reports and updates here on One News and 1PH. These historic reports are also available on Signal TV Channel 250 HD and Channel 8 SD and on Signal Play streaming. One News Now will be back tomorrow at 7:30 a.m. Enjoy the long weekend. I'm Denise Tan. We are One News, all sides, all the time.